Too many of us look at success as if it is some distant prize waiting to be handed to us. But the truth is, success is not pursued, it is attracted by the person you become. Every single day is an opportunity to build yourself, to sharpen your mind, to strengthen your body, to discipline your habits. Not for applause, not for recognition, but because excellence is its own reward. The Stoics understood this deeply. Marcus Aurelius once reminded himself, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. In other words, stop waiting, start becoming. Growth is not about giant leaps. It is about steady, deliberate steps. One page read today, one workout completed, one skill improved, one moment of discipline where you could have chosen weakness but chose strength instead. Lay them daily, and you are building a fortress of character that no setback can destroy. And when you build yourself daily, when you commit to growth until it becomes who you are, something powerful happens. Success has no choice. It cannot ignore the man or woman who refuses to quit, who polishes themselves like steel in the fire. Do not envy others. Do not compare your journey to theirs. The Stoics taught us that the only thing we control is ourselves, our effort, our attitude, our response. Success may come today, tomorrow, or 10 years from now, but it will come because you have prepared yourself to meet it. So focus on your growth. Be relentless in your discipline. Build yourself daily until the life you dream of is forced to become the life you live. Success has no choice but to bow to the one who never stops growing. Growth over outcome is a principle that cuts deeper than the surface-level obsession with success that dominates much of modern thinking. In a world where people constantly chase results, whether it is wealth, recognition, or a particular milestone, it is easy to forget that these outcomes are not things we directly control. They are byproducts of the person we become through consistent, disciplined effort. The Stoics were firm believers in focusing on what lies within our control. Epictetus reminded his students that while we cannot command fortune or dictate the events of the world, we can command our own thoughts, our own choices, and our own character. That is where true power lies. Growth, not the glitter of outcome, is where your attention must be anchored. When you focus on growth, you give yourself permission to detach from the crippling anxiety of results. So many people fail not because they are incapable, but because they are impatient. They want transformation in a week, success in a month, and greatness overnight. And when the outcome does not appear on their timeline, they surrender. But growth teaches patience. Growth tells you that every day is part of a larger process, that the seed does not bear fruit on the day it is planted. If you focus on the seed's daily nourishment, the outcome will eventually take care of itself. You cannot force the harvest, but you can water the soil, you can tend the ground, and you can keep showing up. Focusing on growth over outcome is not about lowering your standards or abandoning ambition. On the contrary, it is about raising your standard for yourself in the present moment. Instead of saying, "I will feel proud when I achieve this," you say, "I will feel proud when I give my best effort today." Instead of saying, "I will be disciplined when I have something big on the line," you say, "I will be disciplined because discipline is who I am." The shift may seem subtle, but it is profound. You move from chasing something external to cultivating something internal. And when you cultivate yourself internally, the external begins to align almost automatically. The truth is, outcomes are never fully under your control. You can train harder than anyone else and still lose the game. You can work tirelessly on your business and still face setbacks. You can give your all to your craft and still be overlooked for a time. If your worth, your motivation, and your peace are tied only to the outcome, then you are building on fragile ground. One disappointment can shatter you. But if your identity is rooted in growth, if your pride comes from who you are becoming each day, then nothing can take that away from you. You may stumble, you may lose, but you will never be broken. Growth is also honest. Outcomes can lie. They can be distorted by luck, timing, or circumstances outside your control. But growth is pure. It does not deceive. If you are becoming stronger, wiser, more disciplined, more resilient, then you are moving forward. You may not always see it immediately in external rewards, but the inner transformation is undeniable. Think of the Stoic emperor Marcus Aurelius, who carried the weight of leading an empire in times of war and plague. For him, growth meant not indulging in luxury, not giving in to despair, but daily reminding himself of his duty, his principles, his discipline. He wrote not to impress the world, but to strengthen his own mind, page by page, thought by thought. That was growth. That was victory, regardless of the turmoil outside. The modern mind is trained to think in shortcuts, quick fixes, hacks, secrets to success. But the deeper truth is that there are no shortcuts worth taking. Growth over outcome demands patience, humility, and persistence. It asks you to embrace the grind, to love the process more than the prize. The person who falls in love with the process cannot be defeated, because while others quit when results delay, he endures, he sharpens, he becomes unstoppable. Imagine a blacksmith hammering iron. Each strike seems repetitive, monotonous, even pointless at first. But blow after blow, the metal changes. It bends, it strengthens, it becomes something powerful. That is what daily growth does to the human soul. When you choose growth, you are not just chasing success. You are becoming someone worthy of success. Success, in many ways, is a mirror. It reflects who you are, not what you want. If you are undisciplined, scattered, or unprepared, success may visit you briefly, but it will not stay. But if you are disciplined, consistent, and patient, then success has no choice but to align with you sooner or later. The world bows to the man or woman who cannot be shaken in their commitment to growth. So stop obsessing over when the results will come. Stop torturing yourself with the scoreboard. Instead, ask yourself, am I better today than I was yesterday? Am I more focused, more disciplined, more resilient? If the answer is yes, then you are already winning. The outcomes will arrive when the time is right. Until then, your job is to keep building, keep improving, keep laying the bricks of your future self. That is the Stoic path, and that is the path to unshakable success. Build yourself daily is not a slogan. It is a way of living. It is the recognition that greatness is never built in a single day, but it is always built by what you do with a single day. Too often, people wait for the perfect opportunity, the perfect motivation, or the perfect conditions to begin improving themselves, but those conditions never arrive. Life is not about waiting for the storm to pass. It is about learning how to move in the storm. The Stoics understood that each day is a complete life in itself. Each sunrise is an opportunity to test your discipline, your wisdom, your courage. If you waste the day, you waste the building block of your destiny. But if you use the day, even in a small way, you strengthen the foundation of the person you are becoming. Building yourself daily does not mean grand achievements every sunrise. It is not about revolutionizing your life overnight. It is about the small, consistent actions that seem almost invisible in the moment, but when compounded over time, become unstoppable. Think about brushing a single stroke of paint. It feels insignificant. But when you return day after day, stroke after stroke, suddenly you have a masterpiece. In the same way, reading a few pages, writing a few lines, exercising for a short period, practicing patience in one conversation, these may feel like nothing, but they are the very strokes that paint the masterpiece of your character. Discipline is rarely dramatic. It is not found in one glorious act of courage or a single burst of energy. Discipline is in the repetition, in showing up when no one is watching, in choosing the hard thing when the easy thing whispers to you. Every day you either build or you decay. There is no neutral. If you skip your growth today, you weaken your foundation. If you embrace your growth today, you strengthen it. The future version of yourself, the one who lives the life you dream of, is not built by a wish. It is built by the small victories you stack daily. Building yourself daily also means accepting the long road. Our culture celebrates shortcuts rarely produce strength. Imagine someone who lifts heavy weights once and then stops, expecting to remain strong forever. That is absurd. Strength is maintained and expanded by daily repetition. Character is the same. You cannot read one book and call yourself wise. You cannot meditate once and call yourself serene. You cannot act with discipline for 1 week and call yourself disciplined. These qualities are forged over time, hammered into your being by daily practice. What makes daily building so powerful is not just the habits you form, but the identity you shape. When you choose to invest in yourself every day, you begin to see yourself differently. You are no longer someone waiting for life to happen to you. You are someone creating yourself actively. That shift in identity changes everything. You stop seeing growth as a burden and begin seeing it as who you are. The man who reads daily does not think, "I have to read." He thinks, "I am a reader." The woman who trains daily does not think, "I have to exercise." She thinks, "I am an athlete." Building yourself daily is about becoming the kind of person who cannot imagine life without growth. This is where the Stoic wisdom shines bright. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself each morning that he was not promised another day, so he had no excuse to waste the one he had. The daily act of building yourself is also an act of gratitude. You honor the day you are given by using it to become better. And when you think like this, even the smallest effort matters. A 10-minute practice matters. A single kind action matters. One disciplined choice matters. Nothing is wasted because everything compounds. Think of compound interest in money. A little invested consistently grows into something immense. The same principle governs the mind and the soul. If you give 1% more each day, you become unrecognizable in a year and unstoppable in a decade. That is the quiet power of building yourself daily. The world may not notice it immediately, but over time it cannot ignore it. Success is rarely a single explosion. It is the natural outcome of 1,000 small sparks you struck every day. To build yourself daily, you must also let go of perfection. Perfection paralyzes. You will not always do it flawlessly, but you must always return. Miss a day, then restart the next day. Stumble in your practice, then resume with humility. The strength comes not from never falling, but from never staying down. Each day is a fresh chance to build, and the builder who never quits eventually raises a monument. At the end of life, outcomes fade. Awards gather dust, titles lose relevance, possessions scatter. What remains is who you have become. That is why building yourself daily is the most important work you can do. It is not for the applause of others, but for the unshakable strength of character that no one can take from you. In the end, that strength is what allows you to face life's storms without breaking, to walk through chaos with calm, to carry both victory and loss with dignity. So every morning, remind yourself, today is a brick. How will you place it? Will you build yourself, or will you let the day slip away? One day may not matter in isolation, but 1,000 days built brick by brick will raise a fortress within you. Build yourself daily, and you will find that the person you become is far greater than any outcome you once chased. Discipline is freedom is a phrase that seems contradictory at first. How can something that restricts you also liberate you? Yet anyone who has lived both with discipline and without it knows the truth. Without discipline, life feels easier in the moment, but heavier in the long run. With discipline, life feels harder in the moment, but infinitely lighter over time. The Stoics understood this paradox. They taught that the one who masters himself is freer than the one who masters the world, but is enslaved by his desires. True power is not found in possessions, status, or applause. True power is the ability to control yourself, to direct your actions, to govern your impulses. That is where real freedom is born. When you live without discipline, you become a servant to your moods, your cravings, and the shifting winds of circumstance. You wake when you feel like it, eat what you feel like, work when you feel like it, and rest when you feel like it. At first, this looks like freedom because no one is forcing you. But slowly you discover that your own desires and impulses have become the jailers of your mind. They drag you in directions you did not choose. They leave you weak when life demands strength, unprepared when opportunities come, and bitter when results never arrive. This is not freedom. It is slavery disguised as comfort. Discipline, on the other hand, is the art of saying no to your lower impulses so you can say yes to your higher purpose. It is the decision to wake up when you said you would, even if the bed whispers to you. It is the decision to complete the task even when distraction tempts you. It is the choice to act in line with your values, not with your moods. And in that choice lies true freedom, because now you are no longer ruled by impulse. You are ruled by intention. That is the highest form of liberty a human being can achieve. Consider the soldier who trains daily, who pushes his body and mind beyond comfort. In the moment, his life looks rigid and controlled. But when the storm of battle comes, he is free to act with skill, free to survive, free to protect others. Compare him to the man who avoided discipline, who indulged his laziness. In battle, that man has no freedom. He is chained to his weakness, trapped by his unpreparedness. The disciplined man is freer precisely because he embraced discipline early. That is the essence of discipline, is freedom. Today's effort is tomorrow's liberty. The Stoics spoke of living in accordance with nature, which meant not indulging in endless pleasure, but aligning yourself with reason, virtue, and strength. Seneca warned that slavery to one's passions was the harshest slavery of all. Think about the person addicted to comfort, who cannot say no to indulgence. He looks free because he does whatever he wants, but in truth he cannot resist. He is trapped by his own habit. Meanwhile, the disciplined person who can say no, who can resist, who can govern himself, is the one who actually holds the keys to his life. Self-control is not about deprivation, it is about direction. Discipline also breeds confidence. When you keep promises to yourself, when you show up day after day, you create an inner strength that no external praise can give you. Recognition from others is fleeting. They applaud you today, they forget you tomorrow. But when you know deep down that you are capable of controlling yourself, of doing what is hard, you walk through the world with unshakable confidence. This is why true power comes from self-control, not external recognition. The man who needs applause to feel worthy is still a servant. The man who has discipline needs no applause because his worth is rooted in his character. Discipline does not mean you never enjoy life. It means you enjoy it on your terms, not on terms dictated by impulse. Food tastes better when earned through effort. Rest feels deeper when it follows hard work. Success feels sweeter when it comes after discipline. Without discipline, pleasures become shallow because they are constant and unchecked. With discipline, pleasures are savored because they are balanced and earned. In this way, discipline amplifies life's joys rather than eliminating them. Freedom without discipline is chaos. Discipline without freedom is tyranny, but discipline chosen by yourself, applied to yourself in service of your highest values, that is pure freedom. It means you decide who you become, you shape your destiny. You are no longer at the mercy of every passing desire. You can endure hardship, resist temptation, and remain steady in storms. No external force can truly enslave a person who has mastered himself. That is why the Stoics said that even a slave can be freer than a king if the slave has discipline and the king does not. So when you feel the weight of discipline, remember that it is not a burden but a key. Every time you choose discipline, you are unlocking another door of freedom, the freedom to live without regret, the freedom to seize opportunities when they appear, the freedom to stand tall when others crumble, the freedom to say yes to your dreams because you said no to your distractions. This is not punishment, it is liberation. At the end of your life, the recognition of others will fade, the applause will grow silent, the possessions will scatter. What will remain is the strength you built within yourself, the freedom you carved through discipline. That freedom is not handed to you, it is earned. It is built day by day, choice by choice, until you realize you are no longer a prisoner of impulse, but a master of yourself. And in that mastery, you discover the deepest truth. Discipline was never a cage. It was the wings you were searching for all along. Success has no choice is not just a motivational phrase. It is a principle of cause and effect. When you relentlessly prepare, when you sharpen your mind and strengthen your character every single day, success is forced to align with you. It may not come when you expect it. It may not look like you imagined it. But it cannot ignore a person who refuses to quit, who keeps building, who keeps improving. The Stoics understood this well. They did not waste energy on outcomes outside their control, but they knew that when you focus on becoming excellent, the world eventually bends in your direction. Success is not magic. It is a mirror reflecting the preparation you have invested. The problem many people face is that they chase success as if it were a wild animal to be hunted. They run frantically, they tire themselves, they beg for results, and when they do not see them quickly, they collapse in frustration. But success is not captured by desperate pursuit. Success is attracted by steady growth, by relentless preparation, by character so strong it becomes impossible to overlook. You do not chase success, you build yourself until success has no choice but to find you. Think of the farmer. He does not dig up the soil every day to check if the seed is sprouting. He does not shout at the sky demanding the harvest to come faster. He simply prepares the land, plants the seed, waters it, and protects it. Day after day he shows up. His faith is not in luck, but in the principle of growth. Eventually the harvest appears, not because he demanded it, but because he was prepared for it. Success works the same way. If you prepare and grow relentlessly, your season will come, and when it does, success will have no choice but to bloom in your life. Success is not loyal to talent alone. The world is full of talented people who never prepared, who wasted their gifts on laziness or distraction. Success is loyal to consistency, to perseverance, to the one who refuses to stop. The Stoics believed in focusing on effort rather than outcome, because effort is the one thing you can control. And when effort is applied relentlessly, outcomes follow like shadows. You may not know when or how, but they must appear. Success cannot ignore a person who has prepared themselves to be undeniable. It is easy to look at others and think they were lucky, but luck itself favors the prepared. A door of opportunity may open for many, but only the one who has built himself daily is ready to walk through it. Success has no choice because the prepared person does not hesitate, does not shrink, does not doubt. He has rehearsed for this moment in private long before it appeared in public. What looks like luck is often the quiet reward of relentless preparation. Relentless preparation also frees you from fear. Most people fear challenges because they know deep down they are not ready. They fear opportunities because they doubt their ability to handle them. But the person who prepares daily, who grows without ceasing, walks with calm into challenges. He does not need to pray for easy circumstances because he has made himself strong. This is why success becomes inevitable, not because the world becomes easier, but because you become stronger. The mountain does not shrink, but your ability to climb grows. Eventually, success has no choice but to bow to the one who has earned it through relentless growth. This principle is not about arrogance. It is not about believing you deserve success without work. It is the opposite. It is about humbly, patiently, steadily building yourself without entitlement, trusting that no effort is wasted. Even when results delay, preparation is never in vain. Every book read sharpens your mind. Every workout strengthens your body. Every disciplined act toughens your will. These investments are never lost. They compound silently until the day comes when the world sees what you have been building all along. That is the day success has no choice. Consider Marcus Aurelius. He never sought recognition, never demanded applause, yet his meditations are read centuries later. Why? Because he relentlessly prepared his soul through reflection and discipline. He did not write to impress, he wrote to improve. His success was not an accident. It was the natural outcome of relentless growth. The same principle applies today. Do not chase applause. Do not obsess over results. Prepare, improve, grow, and success will have no choice but to reveal itself in time. When you live this way, you also detach from the anxiety of results. You stop asking, when will I succeed? And instead ask, how can I grow today? You stop demanding immediate proof and start trusting the process. That shift alone is powerful because it keeps you moving forward. Impatience makes people quit before the breakthrough. Preparation keeps you moving until the breakthrough. And once you have grown enough, once you have become undeniable, success has no choice but to step aside and let you through. The truth is, success is less about chance and more about alignment. When your preparation aligns with opportunity, what looks like fate is really the fruit of your labor. You cannot control when the opportunity comes, but you can control whether you are ready. That readiness is what forces success to come to you. So prepare relentlessly, grow daily, and trust the principle. Because the law is simple, success has no choice but to find the one who refuses to stop building. At the end of the day, success is not even the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is who you become through preparation. Success may fade, but the character you forge through relentless growth will remain. Still, when you commit fully to becoming the best version of yourself, when you prepare beyond reason, success cannot resist. It has no choice but to appear because it is attracted to strength, to perseverance, to mastery. The Stoic mindset is one of the most powerful philosophies a person can embrace because it removes the chains of frustration and gives clarity to how we should live. At its heart, Stoicism teaches a simple but life-changing principle: control only what you can. Everything else, fortune, circumstance, other people's opinions, the weather, the market, even your own future, is not truly yours to command. What is yours is smaller but infinitely more important. Your effort, your discipline, and your response to challenges. When you live with this awareness, you stop wasting energy on what you cannot change and pour all your strength into what you can. This shift not only protects your peace but also makes you unstoppable. Most of our suffering does not come from reality itself, but from our refusal to accept reality. We want life to bend to our will. We want people to act as we wish. We want the world to reward us on our timeline. But life is indifferent to our demands. The Stoics did not sugarcoat this truth. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the universe is change, and our life is only perception. Epictetus reminded his students that external events are not up to us, but our judgments about them are. That is the dividing line. The more we fight against things beyond our control, the more enslaved we become. The more we align with what is within our control, the freer we are. Your effort is always within your control. No one can stop you from showing up fully to the task at hand. Even when circumstances are unfair, even when the odds are stacked against you, you can always choose to give your best. That is power. Many people fail not because they lack talent, but because they waste their effort by complaining, by hesitating, by giving half of themselves. The Stoic mindset cuts through this weakness. It tells you that effort is not about winning or losing, it is about integrity. If you gave everything within your control, you have already succeeded, regardless of the outcome. That kind of effort builds resilience, and over time it bends outcomes in your favor. Discipline is also within your control. You may not control the chaos of the world, but you can control whether you keep your promises to yourself. Discipline is the anchor in storms. It is what allows you to keep moving when everything around you tempts you to stop. The Stoics were disciplined not out of rigidity, but out of strength. They knew that the man without discipline is a prisoner of his impulses, while the man with discipline is a master of himself. And mastery of self is the highest freedom. The disciplined person wakes when he says he will, works when he says he will, and remains steady when the undisciplined collapse. This consistency is what turns potential into greatness. Perhaps the most defining mark of the Stoic mindset is how you respond to challenges. You cannot control whether life throws obstacles at you. Life always will, but you can control how you interpret them and how you react. A Stoic sees challenges not as curses but as opportunities to exercise virtue. Hardship becomes a training ground for resilience. Insults become an exercise in patience. Loss becomes an exercise in acceptance. Instead of asking, why? The Stoic asks, how can I respond with strength, with wisdom, with virtue? This is not passivity. It is the most active and courageous way to live because it transforms adversity into growth. Think of a fire. Throw wood upon it and it grows strong. Throw water and it hisses but continues to burn. The Stoic mindset is the fire. No matter what is thrown at you, you use it as fuel. Others may be broken by misfortune, but you are refined by it. Others may collapse under insult, but you remain unshaken. Others may waste their energy trying to control the uncontrollable, but you conserve yours by focusing only on what lies in your hands. This is why the Stoics seemed unbreakable. They were not immune to pain or difficulty, but they refused to be destroyed by them. Adopting the Stoic mindset also removes envy and comparison. You stop obsessing over what others have because those things are not within your control. You stop being consumed by whether people praise you or criticize you because their opinions are outside your command. Instead, you anchor yourself in your own effort, your own discipline, your own response. This creates a quiet confidence, an inner fortress that no one else can breach. The applause of the crowd may come or go, but your self-respect remains, rooted in the fact that you lived by what was within your power. This mindset also brings peace. Anxiety is often the gap between what we want to control and what we actually can control. The bigger the gap, the greater the anxiety. But when you shrink that gap by focusing only on your own actions, anxiety fades. You realize that storms will come, but you decide whether you will stand tall. You realize people may betray you, but you decide whether you will act with integrity. You realize results may delay, but you decide whether you will persist. That is peace, not the absence of difficulty, but the clarity of knowing where your power begins and ends. The Stoic mindset does not promise an easy life, it promises a strong life. It promises that while you cannot control the winds, you can control the sails. And when you steer with wisdom, with effort, with discipline, you will reach shores that others only dream of. Life will still be unpredictable, but you will not be tossed helplessly by its waves. You will remain steady, anchored in the only things that ever truly belong to you. At the end of your days, you will not be judged by whether life was fair to you. You will be remembered for how you responded to whatever life gave you. The Stoic mindset ensures that no matter the outcome, you lived with strength, with clarity, and with honor. That is true victory, and it is always within your control. Become, don't just dream is a call to action that slices through the illusions so many people live under. Most people dream of a better life. They dream of wealth, recognition, peace, or fulfillment. They imagine themselves in positions of success, and for a moment it feels good to fantasize. But dreams without action are a kind of intoxication. They give you a temporary high, yet they leave you weaker because they create the illusion of progress where none has been made. The truth is, the right time never arrives. The perfect conditions you are waiting for will never exist. Life will always be messy, uncertain, and imperfect. If you keep waiting, you will waste your years in hesitation. The only path forward is to begin becoming today, to start shaping yourself into the kind of person who can actually live the life you dream about. The Stoics knew this well. They reminded themselves constantly that time is slipping through our fingers. Marcus Aurelius wrote that you could leave life at any moment, so let that determine what you do and say and think. That awareness destroys procrastination. If life is short and unpredictable, then the only sane choice is to use the day you are given. Waiting for the right time is a form of self-deception. It allows you to postpone your responsibility to grow, but each postponed day is a brick removed from the structure of your future. Sooner or later, the structure collapses and you realize the tragedy. You dreamed, but you never became. To become is to take responsibility. It means you stop outsourcing your destiny to chance or circumstance and begin to shape it yourself. You stop saying, I'll do it when I have more money, when I have more time, when I feel ready. You recognize that these conditions will never align perfectly, and even if they did, the person who has not practiced discipline in scarcity will not suddenly master it in abundance. The right time is not later, it is always now. The question is not whether life is ready for you, but whether you are ready for life. And readiness comes only from becoming, not dreaming. Becoming is about action, but not random or frantic action. It is about deliberate daily choices that mold your character. You may dream of being strong, but to become strong, you must train, sweat, and endure. You may dream of being wise, but to become wise, you must study, reflect, and apply. You may dream of success, but to become successful, you must build habits, discipline, and resilience. Dreams paint the vision, becoming lays the bricks. Without becoming, the vision remains a fantasy. With becoming, the vision becomes inevitable. What stops most people from becoming is fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of discomfort. So they retreat into dreaming because dreaming feels safe. In dreams, you never fail. In dreams, everyone applauds you. But in reality, becoming requires vulnerability. You will stumble. You will be criticized. You will feel the sting of inadequacy. Yet it is in that very struggle that you are shaped. The Stoics did not teach us to avoid hardship. They taught us to embrace it as the forge of character. If you avoid the forge, you avoid becoming. You remain a dreamer, fragile and untested. But if you embrace the forge, you transform into someone unshakable. Becoming also means aligning your actions with your values, not just your fantasies. Many dream of being respected, yet they act without integrity. Many dream of being leaders, yet they refuse responsibility. Many dream of peace, yet they indulge in chaos. The Stoic approach is brutally honest. If you want the fruit, you must plant the tree. You cannot harvest what you do not sow. Dreams are the fruit, becoming is the plant. Every disciplined action is a seed. Every act of courage is a seed. Every choice to grow instead of delay is a seed. Over time, these seeds grow into the reality you once only dreamed of. The greatest tragedy is not failure. The greatest tragedy is never becoming who you could have been. Failure at least means you tried. Failure at least gives you lessons to grow. But to dream endlessly without action is to die with potential still locked inside. The Stoics despised wasted potential because it dishonored the gift of life itself. They believed each day must be used to become better, not for the applause of others, but because self-mastery is the highest calling. To squander that chance is to betray yourself. Becoming is not about speed. It is not about transforming overnight. It is about direction and persistence. If every day you take one step, no matter how small, you are becoming. If every day you refine your character, you are becoming. If every day you choose growth over comfort, you are becoming. It does not matter if the world notices. It does not matter if success comes immediately. What matters is that you are shaping yourself into the person who can handle success when it arrives, into the person who does not crumble under pressure, into the person who lives with integrity regardless of circumstance. When you shift from dreaming to becoming, you stop asking, "Will I ever succeed?" and start asking, "How can I grow today?" This shift is everything. The dreamer waits for life to hand him what he desires. The one who becomes takes each day as raw material and shapes it into something meaningful. Over time, the difference becomes massive. The dreamer remains in fantasies. The doer builds a reality. Success, fulfillment, and peace are not accidents. They are earned by becoming. So stop waiting. Stop rehearsing your dreams in your mind while your life slips away. Begin. Begin with one action, one choice, one step that brings you closer to the person you want to be. Do not despise the small beginnings, for they are the foundation of greatness. If you commit to becoming daily, relentlessly, then one day you will wake up and realize that the dream you carried has become the life you live. You will see that success had no choice but to come, not because you wished for it, but because you became the person it could not ignore.